Hello everybody, I'm Jennifer Bell with Bell Marketing, and I hope that you're all having the most amazing weekend. So, it can be hard to figure out our passion. A lot of us are going through life. I used to feel like I was drifting through life. There's things that I really wanted to do, but I was too afraid because of limiting self-beliefs, because just having too many and not knowing which direction I should take. So many ongoing factors, realizing that I've got bills to pay, but going after your dreams and achieving your goals can take some time. But, when you have something that you've been thinking about for so long, that it just always follows you no matter what you do, no matter where you go, then that's how you know if that's your passion, that's what you should go after. I've had a lot of dreams, from being a cop to being a archaeologist to being a paleontologist to being a nurse, flight attendant. I even wanted to be an actress, even though I knew dang well I couldn't act. I wanted to be a singer, even though I could not sing. I still sound like a wounded animal. And gosh, there was so many I wanted to do, and obviously none of them panned out yet, or didn't pan out, I should say, not yet. The biggest thing I wanted to do was be an author and build my own charity. My brain just totally just died. So I always wanted to run my own charity. I wanted to be able to help people. Ever since I knew that there was charities that you could help provide for certain groups, I just always wanted to do that. And it can be a little bit getting started. That's my next focus, is trying to get all the technicalities of that figured out so that I can figure out the next step. As far as writing a book, just trying to figure out what I want my first book to be about, because there's so much stuff I could write about. So many things that have happened in my life, and it's just hard to concentrate on one. But, that will all come in time. But my point is that if there's something that's been chasing you for your whole life, then that's, if it's something that just is so easy to talk about, and it makes you want to give other people the information so that they don't go through what you did, so that they can have easier time. If it just lights you up where people can just tell you're really passionate about it, then that is what your passion is. Even it doesn't even matter how old you are, or what you've been through, what you're doing now. Life is too short to be doing anything but what you love, something that you can share with others, that you want to share with others, to help other people get on their path and learn from the things that you wish you had. Life is just too short to be stuck doing a job that you despise, that you hate waking up to, that you can always find reasons why it makes you miserable. It takes you away from your family. It doesn't pay you enough. You have to call off, and then that's not even reliable when you have somebody covering for you. You don't have any kind of retirement that you can rely on, because as we know, Social Security, that's, it's supposed to be some kind of security for when you're older, but, judging off my husband, that's really not much of a security, unless you get into the higher amounts, and that doesn't happen for everybody. So relying on $600 to $800 a month, when if you don't have your house paid off, you don't have a car paid off, that can be a lot. And you work your whole life, and then you really don't even still have enough to cover, and so you still got to go work. I don't wish that for anybody. If you want to, then that's fine. But for the people that have worked, that want to enjoy their retirement, I just would hope that people would see that there's so many other options out there. You don't have to be stuck working to the bone. Figure out what you want to do, even if it doesn't pay you a lot. You're doing your dream, and that's what matters. If it doesn't pay you a lot right away, it takes time to build up a reputation, to build up followings, that people want to follow you, purchase books, or whatever you choose to do. Never feel like you're too old or too anything to go after your dreams. It goes so fast. It's like I'm looking back, and I got a 16-year-old. And I'm 36, and I still feel like I'm not old enough to have a 16-year-old, which I was like 19 when I had him. And just so many things that I wish I had done in that meantime. I could have had a book written. Looking at J.K. Rowling, 10 years and she's a billionaire, for her series to really kick off. Like how I've been wanting to be an author since I was probably about 7, because that was my escape. I didn't have bad parents. I didn't have bad homes. It's just the things that I was thinking of just was my escape, figuring like I didn't fit in anywhere. I could never be loved. so I didn't want to connect with anybody. I tried to push everybody away. And it's just like the books just took me to a different dimension. It took me to a different world where I didn't have to stress about trying to connect with people, trying to build friendships, trying to feel like I've got to be a certain way for people to like me. I've spent a lot of years trying to do things, live my life according to how it would make other people like me. And that was just a waste, because you can never have everybody like you, and that's just impossible. That's a waste of time. But in my mind, what I was going through, it was weird. It was like I was trying to push everybody away. At the same time, I was trying to get people to like me, which is like really, in my mind, it made sense. But looking back, it really doesn't. So yeah, I realized now I had anxiety all those years. I didn't know what the word was because we didn't really talk about in my families about mental illness like that, which doesn't mean there's anything wrong with them. It's just a lot of people don't really talk about it if it's not something that they're all dealing with at the time. And I don't blame them. My family was amazing. They taught me the best that they could. Just that wasn't a heavy thing to talk about, especially back then in the 80s and 90s. It really wasn't as big as it is now here in 2021. So I'm not putting any blame on either of my parents. They were amazing. They did the best they could. But I just want to be able to open myself up so that other people that are going through the same thing don't feel like they have to be ashamed. Like, there's so many factors to my life that I'm starting to open up about, and so that's why I want to be an author too, is so that I can put everything out in words, have everything out there. Sometimes people are more visual learners. They are not visual learners, but they see things and it helps them connect a little bit more than, say, talking to somebody, because it can be scary opening up to actual people. So reading it in the book kind of gets you in that mode, like gets you kind of more inspired, more motivated to want to open up about your own situations. And so that's what I want to create for people. Talk about everything I've been through and be able to pass it on to others. But to get back to it, whatever you want to do, just promise yourself that you're not going to waste any more years doing something that you do not love, and that you are going to go after what you've been wanting to do for so long. You deserve it. You should have it. You should achieve all your goals, no matter how long it takes. That whatever happens, that you're going to continue down, because it is better to be chasing after your goals and not achieve it than achieving somebody else's goals and feeling miserable. Because at least when you're achieving your own goals, you are still having that self-growth that still matters. You're still having that feeling of accomplishment that you finally started, and that can mean something. No matter what it is, whether you want to be a baker finally, whether you want to be an artist, whether you want to be a cop, whether you want to be a wrestler, just go after it. I just wasted so many years just not doing what I really loved. And I'm 36. I could have been enjoying the fruits of my labor for many years now. Being able to help impact somebody who's going through the same situation, somebody who's had mental illness, who's been through sexual assaults, who's been through foster care, who's been homeless, who's been through domestic violence, who's been through walking in an armed robbery, for somebody who's miscarried. There's so many things I can help people with. And so just do it. Just go after it. No more excuses. No more time wasted. Just go after it. If you have any questions, maybe we could help each other on our journeys, because I'm just starting. And, it's good to have a support group. It's good to have other people that are starting on the same journey at the same time, no matter what kind of different goals you have, because you're still in that same mindset of what you got to do to get through it. And it's going to be difficult. It's going to be frustrating at times, but you're still doing it. And so I hope you find any value in this. I hope you feel inspired that you are worthy of it, no matter what your limiting beliefs were before, that you should change your beliefs now, because you deserve better. You deserve to have everything you want and more. Just grow that courage to finally go after it. It can be scary to just up and quit your job, and I understand that not everybody's in that position, but just work a little bit more and more every day to be able to achieve that, to work towards having that life you want. There's so many different lifestyles we all want to live, and so whether yours is different than mine, that's irregardless. You have your own goals, and you deserve to live the life according to your terms, whether anybody else likes it or not. So hopefully I can help impact somebody. I just want to share a little bit more about my story, because a lot of people like to talk about things, and sometimes you're wondering if they've actually been through it, if it's something they're thinking about. I've actually been through all this stuff. Everything that I mentioned about, you know, the domestic violence, the homeless, I've been through it. So, you know, I can talk about it. And, you know, I can help someone else who's been through the same things. Talk about, you know, there wasn't any sudden change that just changed me. It's just over time, realizing that I deserve better. And finally, I'm at this point where I want to go after my dreams. So, you know, 36 years old, but it's better late than never. So if you found any value in this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell for all notifications. I do videos every Sunday. And yeah, like I said, if you want to chase your dreams with me, then let's do this. There's no better time than the present. Even like I said, if you have to start small and work your way up to big, you can't just quit your job. It does not matter. Just do whatever you can that helps you get on your path to your goals and your dreams. And I trust you. I trust you. I promise you that you are going to feel so good over time. Maybe not right away, but once you look back, when I look back on my growth these past 2 years, doing things that brought me out of my comfort zone, I'm like, wow, I'm like a totally different person, because I was in a point where I wanted to die. I hated myself. I was cutting myself. I was disgusted looking at myself. I was getting with guys that were treating me bad because that's what I thought I deserved, you know, and it's just a whole big mess. It's so many different stories. So I can tell you that it is hard, but it's going to be so worth it. And so I hope to see you guys next week. If you have any ideas of what you would like me to talk about, then go ahead. You know, if it's something I know, I'll be glad to talk about it. If it's something I don't have any expertise, any experience in, then I kind of rather shy away from it, other than maybe what I would think about doing. That's really all I can give. But if you have any questions about what I talked about that I've been through, I'll be happy to talk with you about it. You know, you can follow me on Facebook. It's Jen Bell, and you can see my photo and my thing. All the photos that are all across the top of the page are all me. So hopefully I'll see you guys all later, and be inspired. Know that you're worth it. Know that you deserve your dreams, and just go after them no matter what it takes. See you guys later.